Shekalim daf tezvov. The Mishnah daf Yudalad on the base in the bottom says Dalad Chesamis Mikdash. One of them is Chayte. It's referring to. It's for the Metzora to use when it comes to the Beis Mikdash to bring his karbonis. The Rav says that the reason why the Metzora is called the Chayte and his Choisim has the name of a Chayte is because Al Zayin Dvarim on 7 Averis Tzeras Boin. So therefore a Metzora is a Chayte. The Stipler and the Sefer Birchas Parrots asks, how do you understand why is it that a Metzora is called a Chayte before the word Tzaita, that although Metzora didn't have Aveira to bring the Tzeras upon himself, however at the time he gets the Nega through the actual pain of the Nega is Mechaper on his Aveira, and the Korban is coming the tire. Since the Korban is coming the tire, and he has a kapor in his aveira, why is he called a chayte? So Stipler says the answer is it's before in the Yushalmi at the end of Yuma that according to the Manda Omar that a person does tshuva on his aveiros and one Yom Kippur he's not chayzim as vadal of the second Yom Kippur, but still says in the pasuk chatosin lenegdi summit. And so if you already got a kapor in Yom Kippur, why is there chatos in negdi summit? So Stipler says you see that even though a person does an Aveira and he did tshuva and he did tshuva's machapam totally, still he should have the Aveiros in front of him tamid, bring him to achna. So Stipler says that's understanding over here also, even though he had a kapara, nevertheless the chatosi negdi summit. A different mahalach you could say, according to what's Ravur, the Mar Kedush Nefnamtes, and Be'etzim Yisod Dvarm I saw brought from the Kunshas from Belivar Rachvaigel Shlita, and Be'etzim Yisod Dvarm is Mavur and the Minchaschin, that there's two different halachas in the Gedorim of Tshuva and two different halachas in the Ged of Kapora and Chatoim. That the more in Kedusha from Tess says that if someone's Mekadosh Isha Amnashan Tzaddik, even his Rosh Hashanah Mekadosh Hashem here Tshuva B'livoi. So Minchas Chinuch asks, how could he become a tzaddik gomer who just would hear tshuva? It's before there's many halakim of tshuva. So how could he become a tzaddik gomer who just would hear tshuva? So the answer is that there's two different gedorim in tshuva. There's one gedder in tshuva to make the person into a tzaddik, and there's another gedder in tshuva to you have to be oiked chatoim. Each chet, each sin a person does is a mashchis, is a chavtz of an aveira, and you have to be oiked aveira. So that you need all the gedorim of tshuva is to be oiked the chatoim and make it command less. However, to make the person into a tzaddik, it's enough with here tshuva believe by itself. So according to this, you could say that perhaps that's mavur, that with the nega you have a kapora that's only to make the person into a tzaddik, to take away his chet and tzaddik avra. However, the chavtza, the aveira, did not yet have necessarily a kapora totally, so therefore he's still considered a chayte until he brings the korban. The korban is not coming for the chet because the gav is a tzaddik, but Hamias he doesn't have a total kapora until he brings the korban. The Birkei Yosef in Simon Lamed Hey brings from the Arizal that the Lailas is mandin, so therefore it's not the time to give tzedaka. Since it's a time of din, it's not the time to give tzedaka. And he brings from Rei Tzedek that says that even b'layla it's a zman to give tzedaka, and it's me'eles even b'layla. And the Birkei Yosef says the you have a raya from the Gemara of Tezvov and Aleph and Shekalim that the Gemara says a story that Chanina used to give out tzedaka at night, and one time it was Pogabahu Rabbi Duruchaya, the head of the Shadim, came and found him and was teveim even l'sasik v'oriyacha. And he says matin b'seisi chavav, so it's better to give tzedaka b'seiser, and the fact that he gave tzedaka scared away the head of the shadim. So the Birkei Yosef says you see from the fact that it was me'eles, that the tzedaka was me'eles b'layla to scare away the shade. You see that it's a mitzvah even b'layla. And the Birkei Yosef says that the taina against Reb Chanina, the l'sasik gvul, means the fact that he's giving tzedaka b'layla is l'sasik gvul, because since it's a zman of din, it's not really to give tzedaka. The Chedushim Nachem Zemba, he brings from the Charedim that tzedakah is a mitzvah that's not noyig tomit, and he explains like the Arizal that's not noyig b'layla. In the Sefer Nachlas Yaakov Yeshua asks if that's the case, that's not noyig b'layla like the Charedim and the Arizal, then it should be considered a mitzvah as man grama, and noshim should be potter. I can answer this kasha according to the Yesod we mentioned, the Shurim Daf Nedalid in Shabbos, and Pesachim Daf Pei Beis, to the Minchas Chinuch, that the Minchas Chinuch Mavur, wherever the mitzvah is not a chiyuva that's Rami in the Kekaf de Gavra, it's a mitzvah that has to get accomplished, Michutz L'Gufa, like Shvisas Behemtoi, and Sreifas Noisor. Over there's no ptur mitzvah seishas ankomos. So here also by tzedaka, the ikar here is not akakaf the garv. The ikar yisoid ha-mitzvah is that the oni should get tzedaka. So therefore there's no ptur mitzvah ankomos. I didn't say for the Metzora that says that even the Rizal agrees that if an oni comes and asks you for money, you shouldn't be overly samet to the sick points. That's mechayiv tzedaka even b'laylas. It's not considered as mangroma. Yesh la'ayin oid be'emes yisoid from Bechanan Shurim of Basra that says there's two different halachas in the mitzvah of tzedaka. One is in the Sina mitzvah the Gavra, and there's another halacha of tzedaka that the oni received money from the noisin. That is mitzvah atzmei yechefetz of mitzvah tzedaka, and he brings a right from the fact that Mavur Rashi al Torah that if money falls out of your pocket and oni finds it, it is a mitzvah tzedaka, even though you didn't have intention to give it to the oni. Nevertheless, the fact that the oni got money from you, that is the chefetz of mitzvah tzedaka. So that halacha, that second halacha of Rabbi Chanan, that the oni received money from you, everyone agrees it's niskayim b'layla, and therefore it's also hative that the shade ran away from Chananya because it is a chefetz of mitzvah tzedaka b'layla. Moving for the other man base says that the luchos and shiva luchos from Menachem Ba'aron, the Neid Yehuda was asked the question if it's mutter to put a apostle sefer Torah in the Aron Kodesh with kosher sefer Torah like the minig is, and the shoyl asked why is it mutter, and he wants to bring a raya. And the fact that shiva luchos from Menachem Ba'aron, and the shoyl writes that could be luchos a difference because that's ma'asim. The Ksiv is Ma'asav HaKadosh Baruch himself, and he writes he can't bring a raya from the Aron because the Aron is mitchila nas that the Shiva Lucha should be nochis b'Aron as well. And he writes from the fact that the minig was to return a sefer Torah that nimtza by toys straight back into the Aron. So Al-Koch you see there's no chashash of putting as policy sefer Torah in Aron Kodesh. It says you can't be mechalik because if you just put it there for a small period of time and you have das to fix it up, maybe it's different because it doesn't make a difference. Right now the sefer Torah is possible, so the fact that you have in mind to fix it right away won't help. And he says it could be his leiv based the masna on the kedusha of the Aron Kodesh that you could use it for postal sefer Torah. The Neid Yehuda asks that you have a different chasaron that if the postal sefer Torah is not a kodesh, you might end up using it. Ayin oid yeshuvas binyan tziyin. That's mefalpul and Divrei Neid Yehuda. And he says that Neid Yehuda says it's like a hasna, like if there's a masna, it's still a raya because why have to be specifically in one aron together? It could have been in a separate aron. And furthermore, he's madcha the bemis it's matoli in 2 days in the Yerushalmi. If you put the Shiva Luchos in the same aron, it was a separate aron. So if you put the Shiva Luchos in the separate aron, there's no raya from the aron b'chlal.